Hi, welcome to another Truth Meter. Thank you so much for being here. I am going to assume that you are on Odyssey or Rumble if you're watching this, which means you may have had to navigate over from YouTube. So thank you for that. I'm not sure this would go up on YouTube, maybe, but it's just annoying over there with them altering the comments or deleting comments, changing the views, changing the subs, all that stuff's been going on forever over there, and it's just annoying. So anyway, and they keep giving me strikes, but I don't think there's anything maybe in this that would give me a strike, but maybe there is. So I'm assuming you're over there listening. Thank you so much. I'm going to start off with a couple promos, then I'm going to get into dreams because all of us, I think, have been wondering forever what are dreams, and I think I've hit a new level on this that you're going to find it interesting, because I know about the last 4 or 5 years, I've been having dreams. And when I get up in the morning, the feeling of the dream, I may not remember every detail, but the feeling of it sticks with me all day, like I'm still in the damn dream. I'm still cussing. Sorry. I'm going to try to stop. Um, but it seems like the more worn out we get here, the more I cuss or the more mad I get about stuff. Um, and then when I go to bed that night, right before I fall asleep, the feeling of the dream from the night before will come over me. And I'm like, something is up. So anyway, we're going to take a look at that, get into dreams. I don't know why I'm talking so slow, and I'm going to have to look at old notes here. So hopefully I can move it along. All right, so dreaming decoded. I also wanted to talk about triggers, so hopefully I'll remember that at the end. But there's triggering going on right now. But when I was dreaming about 3 nights ago, maybe 4 nights ago, I was in the middle of the dream and I kind of became conscious. So I've noticed this for a while now. I've been getting words when I wake up that I have to remember that they're going to try to mind wipe from me, like bits and pieces of information that are important. And so it's almost like getting something from my soul memory. And then it's like, oh, hold on to that. And I have been a few times now, and it happened again recently, where I'm hearing the hive talking, and it's just like, I don't even know how many thousands and thousands of voices all talking at once. So it feels like the hive mind, um, what's being sent to the hive mind. And so anyway, a couple nights ago or a few nights ago, I was in the middle of the dream that I was having, and all of a sudden I became aware that somebody was narrating the dream. And they were saying, it was a voice, so I just say it was a voice saying, okay, now you're seeing these, I don't know, we'll just make something up here. Now you're seeing these spiders walking across your windowsill. And now you're seeing, and then in the dream, there's spiders walking across, and now you're seeing this, and now you're seeing, and I was like, oh my God, somebody's narrating this freaking dream. They're telling me what to see in my dream. I'm hearing them. And I woke up. I actually woke myself up. I haven't had it happen since, but I was like, whoa, we just hit on something. So if these dreams are being narrated, pull up the whiteboard. I don't think this video or explanation is going to be as good as I wanted it to be. Talked about this a million times, how our spirit comes in and it has to be trapped in a soul body. And then that soul, whether it's in a group of souls or it's being told something to a group, or it's being told something just to the single soul body, it's being told that it's over here. So it will project itself over here. I'm over here in this world, like here's the tree and the whatever. I'm over here on this screen. And this light body is mirrored to us where we are here in this physical body. So this world here is being, I don't even know if it's a separate screen, but it's being created from what's being sent from the soul here. I don't want to use an X to represent us. We'll put a little spark. Okay, so I feel like they're giving us information in the dream to the soul, and then it gets projected to us. And that makes reality happen. So when you have a dream, if you start to record them, you'll notice that they predict stuff. And honestly, I think it's just this narration. It's telling us what we're going to do tomorrow. So I think we already have a script of what's going to happen tomorrow, but they're telling us what they want to happen so they can insert things or change it a little bit or whatever. For example, I've had a dream that I was driving down the road and I was coming up on this traffic light and I could only see a road to the right. I couldn't see if that road, the crossing intersection went all the way across. So it looked like a three-way intersection, but I wasn't sure in the dream. And as I come up to this light, it's a green light. I'm driving straight and somebody on my right on that crossroad turns and pulls right in front of me and I hit them. So I was like, okay, this is not good. I wake up and about 2 days later, I've forgotten about the dream and I'm driving and I'm coming up on that intersection. And it actually is a three-way intersection because a light was put there because there's a huge grocery store there. So it wasn't a road that went all the way through. It was for all the traffic coming out of the grocery store. And I'm driving and I went, oh my God, it's my dream. And I'm in the right lane. I can see the car, same car that's going to pull in front of me. And I whip into the left lane and he pulled right into the right lane and would have totally hit me. So because I remembered or retained the dream, I actually avoided it. So I thought, okay, this dream was a warning for me, but we forget our dreams. I mean, I made a conscious effort to remember it. And so I kind of feel like I was just supposed to drive on that road, but they inserted somebody to hit me. So it's like you're driving on the road, you're in the right lane, keep going, and then you get hit by a car that pulls in front of you. That was like probably what was told to me to create this to happen because I don't think our spirit is lining us up for all this stuff. Like my spirit that came in to help what's going on here didn't intend a script for me to get in a wreck. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't plan that for myself. There's no way. So I think they're inserting stuff in this way. So let me go through my notes because I haven't looked at them for a while. But when I looked at all of my notes as a whole, I read on it. I think I've got about 95% correct on this. So there's something in here maybe that may be a little off. So if your intuition's getting a hit on this or what it might be, just say it or you might think I'm off a little bit. We can make this collaborative. So the soul's told it is out there in the world and it projects that information to the light body, what's supposed to happen for today. And then it gets projected to the physical body. And I think there's some kind of lockdown in the physical so that we can't find our way back to the light or the soul body. Now, there may be a bunch of pods or different realities or whatever in here, and a lot more going on. But for the sake of simplicity and this life right here where we are, let's just look at it from a general standpoint here, because that's how you figure things out. Just like putting together a puzzle, it's like if you get the outer border done first, then you can start to put the interior in there. Speaking of which, it's kind of where we are, right? We just have a bunch of puzzle pieces. Wow, a huge hawk just flew over, like really low, right by the window. See, I can look up hawk in my nature talk book if I had it sitting here. So anyway, I'm getting off track. My mind is not focused today for some reason. I think I don't know. I have no reason why my mind should be crazy because I got enough sleep. So this whole process going on there, it we're looking at it from a general standpoint. I totally lost my train of thought with the hawk. Anyway, it's all right. So our soul consciousness here projected outward, it's projected at least 2 times so that we don't know where we are by this time because we projected outward to the light body and then that gets reflected in the mirror. Who knows how many times it's reflected? So it gets us lost in here. So we dream at night. Why? Because that's when the brain computer, so in this physical body, we have this brain that's like a computer that interprets what's going on. And that gets turned off for the most part, as far as the conscious part of it, when we're asleep. So that's a great time for them to access us because we won't be able to interpret what's going on out here in dream world where we're getting programmed. And so as we experience things, we don't have the brain on to interpret it. So you come back awake from the dream and it's just a mess of symbols. It's like, the hell did this dream mean? Like, okay, I saw you in the dream, but it wasn't really you. It kind of looked like you, but, and then this and that. Um, so it's kind of like when you hit sleep on your computer, the brain in your body goes to sleep. So the computer's not totally off, it's on sleep mode. So your brain is on sleep mode. So they can do all kinds of crap with you while you're asleep or program or all kinds of things. This is why when I wake up in the morning, I do a reverse spiral. It's interesting, I drew a spiral here because I do a counterclockwise spiral with my hands and everything comes back to you. Whatever you tried to program into me at night, I don't accept any of it. You don't have permission, cancel it all out. So there can be various things going on while we're asleep. And the brain, they know the brain's turned off, so they can get away with whatever they're plugging in there. So they're narrating your script, your day, they're programming the soul so it will play this out. They're altering or inserting into your timeline. They're doing things maybe to your clones and making you think you're them. So they have clone bodies of you and the clones over here in a ritual doing something, and you're like, oh my God, they draw you over here to the clone and you're experiencing what the clone's doing. And so that dream doesn't make any sense. I know they do that with me. I think they have clones of me and I'm always underneath New York City somewhere, but my brain that's dreaming, not my brain, but my consciousness that's dreaming is always wandering around New York and it never looks right because I used to live in New York City. So it doesn't look right. And I'm like, this isn't New York City, but I can't find my way to the subway. I can't find whatever. So it's always something with the subway or underground. And I think that's when they're doing something with my clones. So that can be going on at night. But when you wake up, guess what? You're just left with a bunch of symbols, right? So I literally heard words being narrated into my being narrated to my soul or my consciousness. I mean, they could be here with this body, putting it right into your brain, right? Putting words in there. I don't know exactly where this was happening, but I know a lot of this hypnosis happens with the soul. Or they could be using symbols and putting symbols in there, whatever. But I think that that's the brain's trying to interpret it, like what is all this? If you're a super soldier, this stuff could be happening while you're asleep, and they're doing whatever they want with you, and you don't remember. They could be creating MK Ultra type triggers in you. So they could be telling your soul here different things that will trigger something. So if you hear a certain word or see something, you'll get triggered or you'll have a meltdown. For example, when I talked earlier about that draconian projecting itself to me, and it said, you don't belong here. And that was a trigger for me. I didn't realize it at the time, but that entity knew it because I have a huge thing with belonging. I don't belong. And that's a huge inner thing for me. So actually I do have a video I was going to do on belonging, but I never did it. I might find those old notes and do a video for you. But just to help anybody else feeling like they don't belong. I think it's an epidemic now with not belonging in our families and stuff. But anyway, so maybe I'll go into the trigger stuff here too at the end. But so if this is happening, this is why you get deja vu, because your soul remembers being told this, being told your day and what was going to happen. It's familiar. It's like, oh, I've been here before, or something's told me this was happening. I've done this before. All right. So I think it's really smart for us to become more and more aware while we're dreaming, if at all possible, which means going to bed at a decent time so you're well rested and you can participate in the dream. If you're exhausted, you're just going to trash out. If you don't dream, that's another story, but you might be totally blocking. You might be just out cold and getting this stuff on such a deep level that you don't even have a memory of it happening. So I think lucid dreaming is smart. I did read in a book a very long time ago. I don't know if I said this in another video or not, and I don't know if it's true, but I thought it sounded really interesting, was best times to go to sleep is you need to be sleeping between 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. because that is when you're in the deepest sleep and all the repair on the body happens. And it's something to do with lining up with the north and south poles and the energy. And then when the sun comes out, you're getting turned more towards south pole magnetic energy and which triggers your body to be awake. So anyway, I don't know if that's true or if that's part of this whole mess. So anyways, I mentioned that I think that's why dreams are predictive, because we're being given the information. Okay, let me pause it here because I have something in my notes that I don't know what it is. Okay, so here we go. This is actually something I posted and totally forgot about it. This is how fast we're forgetting this stuff, but it's also going to relate into people trying to do deliberate sleep paralysis, because when you do that, you're leaving okay, so this body here, physical body, the brain is still running, it's just on sleep, but you're taking that consciousness that's asleep and then going out and into astral deliberately. So you're actually leaving this body completely, the physical body completely unprotected when you do that. Same thing as if you're wide awake and try a astral travel, deliberate astral travel. You're leaving this body completely unprotected for something to try to jump into it. And the reason, and if you're asking for sleep paralysis to happen, it's because there's a demon there trying to get in to attach or get into your energy field. That's why you have paralysis, because you caught it in the act of trying to take you over. Same with astral travel, something can try to take over, occupy, or put an overlay on you. So you're basically leaving yourself unprotected. But okay, listen to this. Can someone please explain why I'm having nightmares and a portal opened after listening to fill in the blank? I'm not going to say this woman's name, something that people keep sharing her videos. I usually don't watch videos unless you suggest it or I feel drawn to something. So somebody did suggest her video. I listened to 31 minutes of where she's talking about the bugs and that all the beings here are bugs. And I listened to 28 minutes of the Elohim. So I've said that a long time ago, these beings are insects. A lot of the fallen angels are just insects, or they're chimeras of different insects. And there's all kinds of stuff going on. But anyway, so it was about an hour total that I listened. I went to sleep. So she mentioned in there fleas and other parasitic bugs and stuff. And I went to sleep and I was dreaming I was in a boat with people and then it sinks and some of the people die. I managed to escape and swim ashore. I'm almost to my house. I'm almost home. And I look down and my legs are covered with adult fleas. And then there's baby fleas hatching and jumping onto me. So there's flea eggs everywhere. And my conscious mind immediately, so this is from me being used to trying to wake out of a dream. My conscious mind immediately knows that I am dreaming and that this is connected to that woman's bug video where she mentioned fleas and a portal has been opened to me. So that whole awareness came to me that a portal opened to me from watching that video and that these are actual astral nano fleas. And in the dream, so all that awareness came to me. I was like, oh my God, I'm under attack. I watched the video, a portal opened, and now they're using symbols or something from the video to make me think that's part of the dream. Like, remember when she said fleas? See, you're just having a dream. You just have a dream that there's a fleas on your leg. But in the dream, my conscious mind, which I was still here with this brain, that's this brain here that's on sleep mode, woke up enough to try to get over here to this dream and tell it, no, you're dreaming. A portal's been opened from watching that video, and these are actual astral nano fleas. But in the dream, I'm just seeing the fleas on my legs. I'm worried they're going to jump on my cats. And the worry is actually coming from because they're actually trying to get on me, on my physical body and in my home where my cats are while I'm sleeping. So they're trying to access me while I'm asleep. I can't wake up, so the dream continues. I'm almost home, meaning I'm almost awake, right? I'm almost waking up out of this thing. But in the dream, I'm seeing myself, "Oh, you're almost home." But three people show up and force me into a car, two men and one woman, and they have weapons and they take me out to the middle of nowhere. They're holding me prisoner. There's no way out of there. And it's there that I finally am able to come in fully and start lucid dreaming consciously. So I start consciously changing the details so I can get away from these people and wake up. And when I wake up, like I pulled myself out of the dream too early because they're still trying to keep me in here. They're giving me the words, okay, now you're out in the middle of nowhere. They're holding you. You can't escape. And I'm like, I finally fight my way in, lucid dream, start changing the details, and the dream won't change, but I'm saying, no, these details are changing. No, this is not happening. And it wakes me up, and I wake up, and there's an entity standing next to my bed. So I'm pissed off then. And I'm like, anyone want to explain why I listened to an hour of that? And now I'm having a nightmare. And I didn't listen to all 6 hours, thank God. But anyway, so there's an example of that going on. That's why I think it's important. We need to stay aware even while we're dreaming or will that so that we can start to do it when it's important. I know there's something with me unconsciously that protects me if something's trying to follow me out of a dream or something's trying to happen to my physical body. I'll wake up. Something wakes me up. And I've had that happen before. So even before I knew what was going on. So They can keep us locked in loops this way. They can make us aware of someone. So if they're inserting a person into our script or our path, what do I have here? So we won't miss them. Okay. So let's say they're sending in a robotoid to screw with us, cause us some trauma, screw up our script that way. They send in this robotoid, but they're telling us about it in the dream state the night before or a couple nights before you're going to be meeting this person. But you're hearing that, but you're having some kind of crazy dream like about this, so that when we meet them in waking reality, they seem familiar somehow, or it seems right somehow, or it's so we don't miss them, because we may walk on by the robotoid, but no, we got a robotoid waiting here for you, so we're going to program you while you're dreaming so you don't miss this robotoid. Sometimes we're dreaming, it's the true intention of the soul script. And sometimes the soul can override and give symbols and messages. So that's when I wake up with words or stuff like that. So it's trying to actually, the soul, even though it's under hypnosis, is trying to override what it's being told and get that message to you. No, don't let that play out. They're just telling you to do that. I have or world scenarios that are playing out. So sometimes when world scenarios play out, let's do a just over here to the side. I'm trying to draw with the mouse. Sometimes it's a whole group of souls and they're all being told to visualize the same thing. That's why we're all seeing the same world. And that's when you have these world events that play out. So if you're not dreaming, you might be disconnected from your soul. So we have this soul tube here connecting the light body to the soul body. And then the light body connects to the physical body at the heart. But I call this right here the soul tube. I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's what I call it. And that may be disconnected, or they might have tried to grab your light body or something. There might be something else going on, or they've really got you blocked here so that you can't access the game up here that's going on. So yeah, when you wake up, reverse all this. The fact that we can lucid dream, or that I could even have the awareness that I'm hearing the narrator and bring that back to the physical brain and instantly realize what it is, it means to me that when this physical body dies, we have full consciousness and we can take action. So that to me says we do have full consciousness when we die. I don't think so. This, I think, is when I tried to read on that. Yeah, this is when I tried to read on after death. Are we going to be conscious enough after death to escape all this stuff? I don't think we need the physical brain to get us out of here, or our consciousness, because the connection is already there to our Atman and we can't lose the connection. So our Atman is outside of all this. Atman is way out here on the other side of the wall. And then right on the other side of this wall is the real, where we're going to pull ourselves through, but the Atman is going to pull your soul through here. So I think there's already a connection. Some can get out. World, because the soul awake. Some can get out of this world because their soul is awake. That's why only some getting out, because we're awake here, we're waking up. And it's on our script, our soul script, as our last lifetime. I don't know what I wrote here, specific to dreaming at night, because we have to leave the body. We have some kind of beacon that can call us home, and what home means is to the real. I don't really like that word home, but home. We get help from the outside to get us all the way out. So that's what I also saw. I was getting it again, the same thing. But only those that it's their time to leave will leave. There will be something in you that knows it's your last lifetime. There are no longer tricks strong enough to hold you here, and they have to let you go. All right, so another thing that's being induced into dreams, narrated into the dream, is suicide is induced in dreams to get you to go off of your soul script and get stuck and go and leave too early, die too early. Then you get stuck in here and get looped back in. So they're dying, excuse the pun, they are dying for us to kill ourselves because it will take us off our soul script and they can easily just loop us back in then. Because there's a specific time where you're going to be magnetized over here to your Atman to get out, or that's going to be lined up or something. And then the other people that don't leave, maybe some of you watching even have decided to stay and come back in again and finish up more stuff here. Who knows? But everyone gets out between now and 200 years. So I'm seeing that same number again. And that 200 years is shortened, that the souls will allow that number to shorten. And I don't know what I wrote here. Souls will allow it to shorten. So I think that might be the souls leaving will shorten that time. The more that leave, the shorter that time span gets. That this virtual, these virtual universes and the Tesseract will still be in existence. Not all of those awake will leave when they die, only those who have stepped back into their power. That's an interesting statement. So that was something I was reading still. So if you have not stepped into your power in this life and remembered who you are, you're an extension of the creator, you're way stronger than anything in here, you've overcome your fears, you're doing all this work to detach from this place and remember you and value and respect yourself and acknowledge your own power to take things back into your own hands, to say no permission, all that kind of stuff. Only those who have stepped back into their power and are awake, you'd have to be awake by that point to this level, will leave when they die out of this lifetime. Some will have to come back. But the 200 years, I mean, if we're living somewhere between 70 to 100 years, it's really kind of like almost one more lifetime, especially if that 200 years is getting shortened. I think that's what it was originally scripted as, but I think it's lessening. It's not going to be that long. So if it's 150 years left, I mean, that's only like a lifetime or two. All right, triggers. I think this has been going on. I've talked about it with some of you. I don't think I've talked about it on a video, but what I've noticed over the last 2 weeks is we're all getting triggered. Now, we've been getting triggered, right? I'm going to take this messy whiteboard off. But it's getting more specific and personal to each of us now. So speaking of the dreams and things they're implanting in us, they can be implanting, like I said, triggers, specific triggers. That's a form of mind control. They can also be projecting mind control to an entire city using technology. And so it's a mass MK Ultra. I'm not going to say that's the term for it, MK Ultra, but it's a mass form of mind control. I'm sure there's other types. And then there's also the individual, not only through the dreams, but if you're involved with these people, they're doing mind control on you, creating altars and trauma and stuff. So you have to understand that these entities here don't care about the rules anymore. They'll follow them if you force them to follow them. And that's part of standing in your power. So you can't say, you don't have permission to do that to me. You have to say, You do not have permission, and they'll still try to do it, but you're like, no, and you have to use your energy and go at them. Because they don't care about the rules anymore. They're desperate. So unless you really mean it and you're really standing in your power, they're going to keep coming at you. So I have here deliberate out of bodies, putting physical body in danger. We already talked about that because you're leaving it with no protection mechanism. Sleep paralysis, something trying to disconnect you from your soul. That's interesting. So they're also trying to disconnect you from your soul, and that's you're catching them in the act of that. And it's a deliberate invite and giving permission if you're doing it deliberately. So deliberately trying to create sleep paralysis is an invite and giving permission. So that's I read on that part. But anyway, let's get back to the triggering thing. I don't know. I have more stuff written here, just a few more things. I'm almost done. But I'm noticing that I'm getting triggered constantly. So one of my triggers is if I lose something, there's something about me losing an item and I can't find it, it will drive me insane. And so that seems to be happening constantly. And I actually talked about that on one of the videos where I was looking for something and then I got pissed off, stepped into my power, and I said, absolutely not, because you realize, oh, you're just screwing with me. This stops now. You will return to me what I have lost. It's mine. You have no right to do that. And you have no permission to be interfering. And it's like right then it shows up, like just placed exactly on my desk, like in this position, like it just got set there. Like I didn't check my desk 12 times. So that's been going on. So I don't know if you are all getting triggered, but they're doing little triggers on us that are specific to us all day long. And I finally broke out of it because I was just in this cycle of trigger, 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 trigger. And I was like, wait a minute. And I'm also noticing that the sleeper agents or the hive out there are getting triggered. So it just feels like this mass triggering going on. So I thought that was super interesting because we've been talking about being hermits and laying low. So I think it's an internal warning of maybe lay low, stay home. Doesn't mean you can't go anywhere, but if you go somewhere, have your protection up. So this could be a level of everybody waking up to the robotoid invasion. And we've talked about it years ago, the critical mass, maybe there was 30% souls here and 70% robotoid. But it doesn't really matter because the souls are the only thing that counts. We're the only ones with any power, but they're just run by the hive. And I think those numbers have changed. They've been going up and down, which is interesting because there's something about that 70-30. But anyway, I haven't checked the critical mass in a while, so maybe I'll do that if I remember. But we needed half of that 30% to wake up, and we had reached that point. So half of the souls. I'm off on a tangent and I'm losing it. So going back to my notes here with the triggers, yeah, just be aware that these sleeper agents might be getting woke up. So put protection up if you're out. Be careful with people around you. And even souls, especially the souls that are asleep, are can trigger you. They're using them too. So just be aware. We're all in this together. It's not going to stay like this forever. In fact, I've said in the Fearless Forecast, I think that we're heading in a positive direction. So I just have here an added note that I didn't mention. The key to everything in this world, maybe I did mention it, is spells. And I'm seeing these witch entities. So I'm not talking about somebody that's into Wicca or something, although you could be tapping into those entities. I'm talking about actual witch entities that I see around people's light bodies, and they identify themselves with the name witch. And there's hags that identify themselves with the name hag, and there's banshees, and they're all demonic entities. The witches look horrid. Uh, that's just like you see kind of like a Halloween drawing of a witch looking like, I mean, they look horrible. So I think that's talking about these demon entities. We're not talking about people practicing Wicca. Um, and it's spells. So there's spells running everything that are sending the demons to accomplish all this. And as you may remember, when I did my demon daemon, yeah, this definitely can't go on YouTube, is the AI human war or the demon daemon human war. It's the same thing. All right. I'm starting to lose my voice, so we'll leave it here. Thanks everybody for watching.